Imagine being trapped in an elevator, with the one person who planned it. No signal, no escape, and the man smiling at you already knows everything about your life. Before this story begins, hit subscribe. Because stories like this, they don't just entertain you, they stay with you. It started like any other late evening in the city, quiet, predictable, and forgettable. The kind of night where office lights flicker off one by one, and the only sounds left are distant traffic and the hum of machines that never sleep. Emma Lawson hated nights like this. Not because they were lonely, but because they gave her too much time to think. She stepped into the near-empty lobby of the corporate building where she worked, heels clicking sharply against polished marble. Her reflection followed her in the glass walls, sharp blazer, tired eyes, and the faint tension of someone who hadn't slept properly in weeks. The elevator doors slid open with a soft chime. Inside stood a man in a security uniform. He looked ordinary at first glance, mid-30s, calm posture, hands folded behind his back. His badge read Daniel. He gave a polite nod. "Evening," he said. Emma hesitated for half a second, then stepped in. "Evening." The doors closed. That was the moment everything changed. The elevator began descending from the 27th floor. Smooth. Silent. Too silent. Emma pressed the lobby button again out of habit. It was already lit. "You work late," the guard said casually. She gave a small shrug. "Deadlines." He smiled faintly. "You always do." Emma turned her head slightly. "Sorry." But before he could answer, the elevator jerked. Hard. The lights flickered violently, and then everything went dark. A sudden, suffocating silence swallowed the space. Emma's breath caught in her throat. "Oh my," she whispered, instinctively reaching for the panel. "What just?" The emergency light flickered on, casting a dim red glow across the elevator. The guard didn't move, didn't react. He just stood there, watching her. And smiling. Emma's heartbeat quickened. "You should call it in," she said, trying to steady her voice. "You have a radio, right?" No response. "Hey," she snapped, sharper now. "We're stuck." "I know," he said calmly. Something about the way he said it made her stomach tighten. He wasn't concerned. He wasn't surprised. He sounded satisfied. Emma stepped back slightly. "You knew this would happen," she said slowly. The guard tilted his head, as if amused by her realization. "Not new," he replied. "Planned." The word hit her like a drop in temperature. "What?" He took a small step forward, not threatening, not aggressive, just enough to close the distance between them. "I disabled the system," he said. "Timed it perfectly. No alarms will reach outside for at least 30 minutes. Emma's mind raced. This wasn't a malfunction. This wasn't an accident. This was deliberate. "You're insane," she whispered. "Not at all," he said softly. "I just needed you alone." Her pulse pounded in her ears. "Why me?" He smiled again, but this time, there was something darker behind it. "Because you're the only one who can help me." Emma shook her head. "I don't even know you." "Don't you?" he said quietly. And then he said something that made her blood run cold. "Emma Lawson, senior financial analyst, lives alone, apartment 14B. You order takeout on Tuesdays. Thai, usually. Extra chili." Her breath stopped. "How do you know that?" "I've been watching you," he said simply. The elevator suddenly felt smaller. The air heavier. Emma's instinct screamed at her to keep distance, but there was nowhere to go. "You're sick," she said. "Maybe," he admitted. "But I'm also right." "About what?" "That you're already involved." He reached into his pocket. Emma tensed instantly, but instead of a weapon, he pulled out a folded piece of paper. He held it out. "Take it." She didn't move. "Take it," he repeated calmly. "Or this gets worse." Slowly, cautiously, Emma reached forward and grabbed it. Her hands trembled as she unfolded the page. And then she froze. It was a financial report. One she had personally signed off on 2 weeks ago. But something was wrong. The numbers were different. Altered. "What is this?" she whispered. "Proof," he said, "that your company is laundering money." Emma shook her head immediately. "That's impossible." "Is it?" he asked. "Look closer." Her eyes scanned the page again. And this time, she saw it. Tiny inconsistencies. Adjustments so subtle they were almost invisible. But they were there. And if they were there, that meant someone had changed the records after she approved them. Which meant, "They're using me," she said, her voice barely audible. The guard nodded. Exactly. Emma looked up at him, confusion battling fear. Why are you showing me this? Because, he said quietly, you're the only one who can expose it. And you kidnapped me to tell me that. I needed your attention, he replied. She stared at him, trying to understand. Why do you care? For the first time, his expression changed. The calm mask cracked, just slightly. My brother worked here, he said. Accounting department. Emma's chest tightened. He found something, the guard continued. Something like this. He reported it. What happened to him? The guard's eyes hardened. He died in a car accident 3 days later. Silence filled the elevator again, but this time, it was heavier. More dangerous. More real. You think the company killed him? Emma asked. I know they did. Emma looked back at the paper in her hands. If he was telling the truth, then she wasn't just trapped in an elevator with a stranger. She was trapped in something much bigger. Something that could destroy her. Or get her killed. A sudden buzz echoed through the elevator. The emergency system flickered. The guard glanced at the panel. They're trying to reboot it, he said. We don't have much time. Emma looked at him, her mind racing faster than ever. What do you want me to do? He stepped closer again, this time serious, focused. When those doors open, he said, you walk out like nothing happened. And then, you help me bring them down. Emma hesitated. This was insane. Everything about this was insane. But the paper in her hand, the fear in his eyes, and the truth she was starting to realize, made one thing clear. She was already in this. Whether she wanted to be or not. The elevator jerked again. The lights stabilized. A mechanical ding echoed. And slowly, the doors began to open. The guard stepped back into the shadows of the corner. His voice dropped to a whisper. Remember, he said, they're watching you. Emma swallowed hard, and stepped forward. As she walked out of the elevator, she didn't look back, but something inside her had already changed. Because now she knew, the real trap wasn't the elevator. It was everything waiting outside.